Hi, I'm John Fitzgerald and welcome to this week's edition of Team WealthBuilders. Let me start by a quote from Zig Ziglar, one of the greatest trainers in the world. What he says is, motivation is like a shower. Get it regularly. Otherwise you stink, of course. Now, it's so important. I was having lunch just recently with a great friend of mine. We've been in business and done business for over 25 years. And he's a little bit down on his luck. And I started talking to him about why he was down on his luck, etc., etc. And he realised that he'd been surrounding himself with negative people and it's been bringing him down. And after spending a little bit of time with me, he said, you know what, I feel like a new person. And I told him the story about Andrew Carnegie, and it's a great story. Andrew Carnegie, back at 1890 to 1910, etc., etc., richest man in the world. And he used to have little habits. Every day he would carry a little book around with him and in his diary, and he'd write down little quotes, positive quotes, and he'd recite it to himself. He'd look at it throughout the day, just reminding him. Now, these are habits. It's like the gratitude habit, you know, that I've coached you and spoken to you about. Be grateful for what you've got, but be grateful every single day so that you wake up feeling that refreshment of abundance and prosperity. Now, why this is important? Well, Andrew Carnegie thought it was so important that he decided to sponsor Napoleon Hill to write the great book, Think and Grow Rich. And it's an amazing story in itself because Andrew Carnegie Napoleon Hill says, I'm going to introduce you to the richest people in Australia. In the world, at the time, in America. Henry Ford, the Rothschilds and Rockefellers, etc., all those people. Now, I want you to find out from every one of them what makes them successful. The book, Think and Grow Rich, and it's simply that. And that's why my motto on every single email is, as you think, so you shall be. So I want you to think about that and get that motivation. And a great way to do that as a wealth builder, you must come to one of my seminars at least every 3 or 4 months, at least twice a year. Why? John, I've heard it before. Guys, it's like a shower. It's like a shower. It's just that energy that'll get into you. And I keep right up to date with what's happening in the economy, with the boom, etc., etc. And I'm that injection of positivity, that voice that will combat all the negativity, all the doubt sayers, etc., etc., what I call the 90%ers. And the 90%ers are 90% of Australians that will never, ever do anything, never create any wealth. That's the environment we often surround ourselves with. And let me leave you with one of my favourite sayings. Environment is stronger than willpower. So please, let Team Wealth Builders be a part of your environment, but come along to one of our seminars, get into that environment, be involved, make sure the environment that you build around you is a positive, creative environment, and make that a habit every day. Thanks for listening to me.